All right, so let's do here. So, good morning, everybody. Today is October 27th. Wow, the year. Where'd it go? Flying by, just in the front of at our fingertips. And it seems like it was January, and then it was 2021 and 2020, and here we are. So, it's good to see everybody online here and have everybody kind of back. I know it's a busy time of the year and the holidays and open enrollment. So I just want to hit a couple of things today. I want to just have a refresher, and for myself and for you, for all of us. But I kind of just want to go as we go into the holiday seasons and into Halloween this weekend, and then Thanksgiving and December and Christmas. The whole aura is like, oh well, it's slowing down. It's the holidays, and nobody is has any money, or they're not interested. But it's actually a very very good time for us, just because of the holiday brings the people together and the families, and they really have some time off maybe, and really get to thinking, hey, I need to really take care of this before the end of the year, before the next year starts. We've got a little flu virus or cold virus going around, and everybody after the last 2 years is kind of scared with COVID. So I want to just kind of us just kind of rewind back, and really get back into the grassroots and of why we're here. And I really wanted today to kind of go through the presentation and really just kind of slow down and help. Hopefully I can help you help your clients or help your people as we go through the presentation. I think it's our presentation is very good. If you slow down and you use it to your advantage, I think it's very very good, a piece. And it's always good to have a piece of material or a presentation piece that you can always follow. I'm real big in 2023. I'm going to be teaching a lot on systems, how to produce a system, how to create a system, and how to duplicate it. Because I think we all are busy with different things, and we maybe make a sale or we provide coverage for a family, and then we forget about it. We go on a roll where we're hot for a while, and then we forget about final expense, or we forget about Security National Life, or we forget about even protecting people maybe for a while. So we just got through going to Hawaii, and they are announcing, or they did announce, and it will be released to you, the new destination and the new qualifications. I haven't seen them just yet, but they will be releasing those. And what a great, all exclusive expense paid for you and your spouse to Hawaii. And this next one's probably, if I'm guessing, I don't know, maybe to Israel, maybe to Bali. We'll see what they come up with. But very reachable goal for you to reach over a 12, 13, 14, 15 month a time frame, whatever they decide. And I want you to be on that. I want you to have the ability to go and take your family on a nice vacation and a nice all expense paid opportunity as you protect families. So for brand new people, again, my name is Keelan Johnson, and I'm the manager here at Security National Life for the Final Expense Division for Texas, New Mexico, Oklahoma, and Colorado and Kansas. And so I want to go through a little presentation today. Y'all probably know, you've seen my two websites that I have. If you haven't, here they are: finalexpenselife.us. This is my tools website. This is where you go, reach, pull out the drawer, and grab your tool, whichever one you want to see. First of all, let me ask this: can y'all see my screen, and can y'all hear me? If you can chat, put yes. If you can see my screen and if you can hear me, I don't want to be talking to myself. So, okay. Thank you, Rigo. I appreciate it. This is my tools, or this is your tool chest as to where to find things. And I'm not going to go through it today because we've been through it before, but you've got your weekly recorded trainings where you can go in and learn from some of the trainings that we've done before: how to sell a policy in person, which is your paper application and or your computer; how to sell a policy over the phone; how to call into the company and make that happen; your rate calculator. That's pretty self-explanatory on the rate calculator to get in there and rate someone and quote someone. And then your tools that I've provided for you, and you've seen this probably before, where we have the 4 policies that we have at Security National Life. a summary of the simple security plan, our height and weight chart, which is very important to you to make sure that you get that client in that height and weight demographic in there. The rate book and guide. This is going to tell you where people fall, the maximums on each product, whether it's a preferred, standard, or modified. Medications list, that's going to be exactly what it says, where you go to find your medications and where you look up what they're taking, and that will tell you where to put them. And then your referrals form, very, very good tool here for you to go out and for you to find new clients, and for you to actually, when you get through with selling the policy, you ask for a referral. Mr. and Mrs. Jones, do you know anybody that I can visit with? For brand new people, maybe you need some new appointment setting scripts and overcoming objections. Maybe those are things that you need to work on how to present people and how to overcome, well, I don't have money, or I don't have my husband here, or any of those things. So check that out. Our lead credit program. Who can we write? Very good one. It shows exactly all the elements and all the things that we can write, which gives you confidence going out in the field and knowing, man, I can really cover these people. I can really protect these people, because that's what it's about. It's protecting families. And when you look back, how many people have you protected in 2022? Did you protect one person? Did you protect 10 people? Did you protect 100 people? And as we get to the end of the year, that's a goal. How many people are you going to protect in 2023? Do you like protecting people? Do you care about their family? Are you going to be there when they need you? Or how many people that you know are going to pass away in 2023? Those are all questions that we all have to ask ourselves, and kind of come up with the goals and set goals. Your illustration, this really gets and dives down as to how strong our policy is. We have a strong whole life policy with cash value and accumulation. So what we give people is very beneficial. It's a very good policy. It's good for their family, and it's going to be good one day when they pass away. And in my training title today, everybody's going to pass away one day. It's just a matter of us helping them and let them know that we want to be there when that day comes, not if it comes, when it comes. And we want to be there. If that day were to come in 2023, who knows? We don't know. But if it did, is your family protected? Is your family taken care of? And then down here, how to close leads, how to work our new digital lead platform. We are sharpening the tool there so that you are able to go get leads at an affordable price. And with that affordable price, you're able to put a system in play to where you know, okay, I got these 10 leads. I need to go call them. What do I say when I call them? I need to text them. What do I text when I text them? I need to go see them. What do I say when I get there? And they say, well, I didn't ask for this. So that's what we're going to be dissecting back down and boiling back down to give you a clear vision of an opportunity that involves leads, whether that be your own self-generated leads or your local influences, your centers of influence, or if you're buying these leads. Okay. And then working digital leads is there. Your state applications and things, you should be able to go over here and order all of your supplies. If you don't know how to order supplies and going over to ordering supplies, let me know, or let me know that you're having trouble. You need your supplies. You need your supplies, and I'll help you if you don't know how. We've also have a couple of resources that will show you how to do that also. So on ordering supplies. So that's very important there. And then we go down here to beating the lead. And basically what that means is that if I've got a lead, I want to hit it from every direction. And so an analogy is that I want to make sure I call them, make sure I leave a voicemail, make sure I call them again, make sure I text them, make sure I text them again, and then go see them. If you can go see them, I know some people are kind of skittish and gas is high, but we got to be out there too in the community showing our true blue colors. And that's another thing on branding, showing our true blue colors and being out there helping people, serving people, being out there talking to people of, hey, I know you may not have gotten this in 2022 or settled up, but we need to make sure that you have this in 2023. Building pipelines, building that pipeline. So no matter who you talk to today, if they told you no today, you're going to get a yes tomorrow or the next week or the next month or the next year. But if we don't know that, and we don't know where the people sit, then we don't know when we need to talk to them again. If I don't write it down and say, hey, call Mary in November, and I probably won't. We get busy and we tend to forget. So building pipelines, and I'm really going to focus a lot in 2023 on helping you maybe develop a pipeline, systems and pipelines. So we got to build the system and build the pipeline. Then all we have to do is feed it with leads, feed it with people. And you've already got the system built, you've already got the process built, and it will go through there, and we will find the people that have the need, and we will take care of them. And out the back end spits a person with a policy that's protected. And that's what it's all about. If your system's not built, your presentation's not built, and your pipeline's not built, this is really tough. You're kind of just waking up every day going, what am I going to do today? Who am I going to call? Who can I make a sale to? And that's really a frustrating place to be in. So I want to help you do that. And I want you to think about that. Is your pipeline, is your system, is it squeaky? Does it need grease? Or is it a smooth operating system where all you got to do is feed it in the top and a policy comes out the back end? Okay, so that's what we got to work on. That's what I want to help you work on. Okay, and then ordering leads again. 2022 all the way back to 2019 has been a little tough to find out which leads are working the best. What's our return on investment? So we want to help and sharpen that. So I'm going to be focused a lot on that to help you determine the best opportunity for you so that you can feed that lead system and spit out a policy on the other side. All right. So that's a focus of mine too, to help you. And that's a challenge of mine, is to help you do that. And everybody's in different areas. Demographically, my focus in 2023 is going to be to come up with a Spanish platform too. So anything that I teach will come out on the other end in Spanish also. And that gives the opportunity to people that are not bilingual to be a part of SNL, and for you to also recruit and or help people or visit with clients as much as you can. So let's jump back over here. I'm going to look, see if there's any questions. I think we're good to go here. We got a wonderful 10 people on here, and Joanna's on it. That's good. Arceli, good to see you there. So let's jump over here to the actual presentation. So if you see how to sell a policy in person, you're going to see this section right here, and you're going to see the presentation in English and Spanish. So I'm going to pull it up in English. Only because I don't know Spanish. So hopefully the next thing too, just be prepared, is that my Zoom trainings are going to allow you right now. You have the ability in the Zoom training to hit down here on a closed captioning. And if you go in and hit closed captioning, you're able to read what I say. And then also the next step going forward, and I'm probably going to start it next month or so, is that you're going to have the ability to have what I say translated into Spanish. So that's going to help out a lot too for you and for the other people that want that in Spanish. And I understand that's a need. I just have to be able to provide the technology to do that. So hopefully that's coming in the next week or 2 or 3. So be looking for that. So I'm going to do a presentation here. I don't know if I have a volunteer. If there's a volunteer that can unmute themselves, I would love to do a presentation with the volunteer. So if we have anybody that would like to volunteer, I would love for you to unmute yourself and say "I" and volunteer with me, and we'll walk through this thing together. And some of you may not be able to, I get it, but if I could have a volunteer, that would be good. And I know some of you could unmute yourself, so I would love for you to. Please, there's hey Mike.
Right.
How are you?
I'll do it. Good.
All right. I appreciate you. Hopefully the internet and everything will cooperate with us. Hopefully you can hear me, right?
Yep, I can hear you.
All right, Mike. Hey, Mike, are you married?
Yes.
Perfect. What's your spouse's name?
Suzanne.
Suzanne. All right. Perfect. Well, I'm going to pretend like I am in the house with you and Suzanne and doing a presentation. Okay. So y'all are my
Okay.
clients, potential clients today, and I'm going to be working with you and Suzanne on a policy. Okay, and this for everybody on the phone, this can work the same as if you're on the phone. As long as you have the presentation down, you're able to kind of follow it, pick out the things that you want to use as you're doing your phone presentation. And, again, one thing I want you to realize is that you going into a house know about 99.9% more than anybody that's already there. So don't worry about stumbling over a presentation. In the very end, all you really have to say when you go in there is, hey, Mike and Suzanne, you realize one thing, that you're going to pass away one day, correct, Mike?
Correct. Right.
So we've already got that established. You do understand that there's going to have to be some money there to take care of you and Suzanne when y'all pass away one day, correct?
Correct.
So we're all on the same page that needs to be there. We just now need to determine how much that needs to be. If you currently have protection, and then is that the correct protection? And then how we're going to fit this into your budget to where we make sure that it's taken care of. That way, when with a WHEN, when you pass away, like all of us are going to, and then that money's going to be there for either one of y'all or the kids or whoever is going to have to take that step to go to the funeral home and make that business deal the day that you pass away or thereafter. And that's not going to be easy for any of us, but it's my job as an agent to help that day become easier for you, for Suzanne, or for your kids or whoever that may be. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
Perfect. So that's kind of this. You could even do that right there, and that would be your whole presentation. So I want y'all to know that you can add fluff to it. Again, you can talk about things in their house. You can visit with them about this, that, and the other. But when it comes down to it, you really have to be a little bit brash about telling the people, this is why I'm here. This is what I do. I have to make money and feed my family too, but this is what I do. I use my expertise to help you make sure that you relieve that burden that is going to be there one day, that we can't get away from it. It's going to be there for any and everybody. Most of you on the line, or Mike and Suzanne also, y'all probably have experienced a funeral of some sort, type, or price in the past. May have been a loved one, may have been a friend's loved one, and whoever it is. But at that point in time, you either have it or you don't. And if you don't have it, then you end up having to find the money somewhere. And it ends up sometimes being a bad taste in your mouth if you have to come up with the money that someone didn't take care of their family or their stuff. We all will do it for our family, but if they didn't take care of it, it's a little sour. And then you probably or might have been around a situation where someone took care of it before, and it's a blessing, and it's taken care of. And it's like, thank you, mom and dad. Thank you, aunt and uncle, or thank you, whoever, for thinking of me and thinking enough of me that you took care of it. That way I didn't have to. So those are the kind of feelings and the passionate, kind of chair we have to get into when we're visiting with people. And it's so easy for some people and it's hard for others. So I can't help you with that, but I can just help you with just providing a skeleton, which is this, of how to really take some of this, create your own presentation about the things that you really see beneficial. So Mike and Suzanne, I appreciate you letting me come over to your beautiful house today. And, really love it here. And I think we're going to really get through this. I won't keep you long, but I want to point out a couple of things. Is that okay, Mike, Suzanne?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Perfect. One thing I want to make sure that you know is that about us, our company is out of Salt Lake City, Utah. We've been in the business since 1965. And we have clearly over $1 billion, approaching $2 billion in assets for the company. So we are a medium to large size life insurance company, final expense life insurance company, but we still have that local touch to where we're able to do what we're doing today. We're able to sit down with you, we're able to visit with you. And then the main thing is that we're able to pay our claim when that day comes, because you want to make sure that you have a company that's going to be able to pay your claims when that day comes. And in addition to that, Mr. Mike and Suzanne, when we get a death certificate in our hands, we will pay your claim within 36 to 48 hours of getting that death certificate. So you can rest assured we're one of the fastest in the industry. And that is very important to you and will be important to you when that day comes, to make sure that there's money there to take care of the claim and to take care of the final expense. Does that make sense, Mike?
It does. It does. And that's good. That seems like a really good time frame.
It does. And the reason we do that is because we also own crematories and mortuaries and cemeteries. And we do have a pre-need program that's out there. And we understand we also have another addition to our company, which we call Fast Funding. And Fast Funding is just like it sounds, fast funding. And basically what they do is they go out and they help clients that have other policies with other carriers and they're not able to get their claim fast enough. We will come in as a company and we will come in and fund that funeral with our money. And then once that claim comes in, once that company pays that claim, then we will get our money back. So we understand we don't want to, without sounding vulgar or insensitive, we don't want mom and dad or aunt and uncle to sit in the refrigerator for too long. So we want to make sure that it's taken care of. The process is expedited and it's taken care of. So I think it's very important that you know that about us and you feel confident. So for everybody on the line, you got to set the stage. And this is where I go back. You got to set the stage as to who you are, and you got to make them feel comfortable with the company you're riding with and a company that you're with. If you're just out there peddling life insurance to someone, they don't know who you're supporting. They don't know who you're backing. And it might as well just be a piece of paper that they have no idea. They're scared. They may trust you. They may know you, but they want to really trust you in order for them to stroke that pen and to turn over their money to you. So use the company, use this information here to your benefit to build a base core trust block that they're going to know no matter if you're there or not, they've got a good company backing them. I find agents that tell, that I've heard before, well, I don't know if I want to write a policy with y'all because what if I'm not here in 2 or 3 years? And well, so what? Security National Life is the one that has the policy. Security National Life is the one that's going to pay, not you. Okay. So we are $1.5 billion company. We have a lot of policy holders and we're not going anywhere, even if you were to go somewhere. So it's still good for the client. It's still great for the client and great for them to have that option. So again, build that block. The second thing I want to build is that Mike and Suzanne, I hope you may know that the average funeral cost today is between $8,000 and $10,000. This brochure was actually produced a couple of years ago, so it may have been even $10,000 to $12,000 now. So these things are going up just like gas. The cost of everything is going up, and we want to make sure you're prepared for that, for the funeral and for the additional items that we're going to talk about also. Here's a question for you, Mike and Suzanne. How will you pay for your funeral? Does Social Security pay for a funeral? That's a question.
Oh, very, very little.
Very little. It pays a one-time death benefit up to $255. And so, so that's not enough. Okay. That's not enough. Mike and Suzanne, are either one of you veterans?
No.
Okay. So that doesn't really apply here, but there is some veterans burial allowance, but it's only up to $300, and you may get, a spot in a veteran cemetery if that's where you choose to be. Other than that, that's not going to cover it. Okay. What about savings? Mike and Suzanne, do y'all have set aside $15,000 each, a combined 30 to take care of this?
We have
And
some, but not that much.
yeah. So that's, I mean, again, when we get into this question is if they say, yeah, we've got $60,000 and that's what it's designed to do and whatever it may be. My rebuttal
Yeah.
is that, well, would you rather have that money to save for a rainy day or for your kids or for an emergency and put a policy into place?
Right.
And hey, if the client says, no, this is what we're going to do, we've got the money, then you can just get up off the table and go, okay, well, I mean, I don't want to, beat a dead horse, if you know what I mean. So you can get that out of the way, but rarely ever do people have that much money put aside. And even if they did have that money put aside, when you talk to them about this opportunity and this policy, they'll be like, no, honey, let's put that money and save it for the kids, and let's use that money to pay for this. Because why would we want to spend $16,000 if we can get a policy and it will pay for it? So, but we have to hit that objection early, and you have to get over that hurdle. But rarely do people have that. Okay. Loved ones, Mike and Suzanne. I don't know about you, but I'm pretty sure you don't want your loved ones to have to cover your expenses. Most people don't want to count on their loved ones or have to count on their loved ones to carry for the expenses. You know what I mean? So that leaves right here is that those options are all out. Okay, Mike, go ahead and read. Mike, go ahead and read right here, if you don't mind, the wording underneath this checkbox.
Okay. Loving memories, family heirlooms, and inheritance properties.
And what are those?
Oh, wow. Family heirlooms would be like, maybe like a house.
Sure.
Maybe loving memories, maybe, I don't know.
Pictures, furniture,
Pictures, right. Yeah.
furniture, clothing, statues, art,
Right.
Guns. Those are
Right.
things.
Art.
Those are things
Yeah.
those are things we want to leave behind for our loved ones, right? I mean, that's what we want to leave that we had. What do you don't want to leave behind?
Funeral expenses, medical debt, financial debt, legal fees.
Would you agree with that?
I agree.
Yeah. So that's what we're talking about. This is the summary of it. We want to leave behind the good stuff. We don't want to leave behind this burden of them shaking their head going, man, I don't know where we're going to get this money. Okay. So that's what we're here to do for you, you and Suzanne, is to let you know we've got your back and the funerals are this. You don't have really much option and you want to leave these things. So this is why we do what we do. Does that make sense, Mike?
It does. That makes sense.
Super. So, Mike, I'm going to ask you a couple of questions here, and I'm going to put you on the spot. All right. So this is information that I'm going to read you is what and normally when I do a presentation, I do this to the man or the husband because it's easier this way. It's just kind of my forte, but I could switch it around. But I do this. And if you've got a single person that doesn't have a spouse or whatever, then basically your approach is going to be a little bit different, but I'll show you. But since we've got a couple here, I'm going to do this. So I'm going to go, hey, Mike, do you know your wife's Suzanne's first and middle name?
Yes, I do.
Okay. And I just giggle like that. That was a hypothetical. I just giggle like that. Yeah, because I'm setting the stage here. I'm setting the stage. And you probably know her address and her city and state and zip and telephone number and her education. And what's her birthday, Mike?
June 23rd, 1951.
Look at you. So I love doing this. It's fun. Okay. So I get to this and I pick on the man and I could get him in a little trouble maybe at some time, but this is where I'm building rapport. This is where I get in and we giggle together, we laugh together, we have fun together, just because I'm getting to know them a little bit, if you know what I mean. And we're building rapport with them. And they usually strikes up a little conversation. But you did know the birthday, and that's good. And but there are people that kind of struggle with that, believe it or not, and that's okay. They mainly with the year that they struggle with a little bit. So, do you know her social security number?
I know the last 4 digits.
Okay, so we hit something here. Okay, and he is exactly right, and you're not alone there, because a lot of people, and most people, don't know their spouse's full social. Some of them do if they're the ones that pay the bills all the time, or credit cards or whatever.
Right.
All right, so that's one thing they didn't know. You probably know where she was born, right?
Yeah, Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Cool. What day were y'all married? This kid, so I'm going through this. You understand kind of now what I'm trying to do. I'm asking questions about Suzanne. And Mike is reading this. And I'm not sure if I wrote her name correct, but anyways, Mike is giving me this information, because here's the thing, everybody on the line. When Suzanne passes away, this is going to be pertinent information for the obituary, for the funeral home, for all the business. This is pertinent information. Do you know her? You probably know her father's name. Do you know where her father was born?
Minnesota, somewhere in Minnesota.
Okay, so that was a somewhere. Okay, so we got the state correct, but we didn't get the city right. Okay, that's okay. And what about her mother?
I think she was born in Wisconsin.
Okay, so this was also a no. There's no veteran information. She probably has some brothers and sisters, maybe, Mike, some aunts and uncles, and you'd probably have to look up their addresses, right, and phone numbers to see all that information. Maybe cousins and things. You'd probably have to look that up, correct, also. Yeah, correct?
Correct.
So here is the deal, everybody, and I'm going to turn my camera on and look at you when I do this. Rarely does one spouse know every single thing about the other spouse as far as this paperwork goes. And these items are very crucial at the time that you pass away, the pertinent information that you'll need to give the funeral home, or to give the obituary, or whatever it may be that you need. Rarely do people have that. So what we have to do is have to come back and go, Mike and Suzanne, I appreciate y'all doing that, but I'm going to leave you with 2 of these today. Okay. 2 of these for you. They're going to be for you. I'm going to give it to you. Okay. And I want Mike yourself, I want you to go fill out this whole thing for yourself. Okay. Do it for Suzanne, do it for the kids. This is going to be your information. You take some time, you take a pen, and you go fill this out, right? And Suzanne, you do the same thing for Mike, and y'all do it for each other. And you put it in a safe place. And I look at him like this, and I say, you put it in a safe place, all together in one place. And when the policy comes back to you, then you can have this information in these 2 folders, along with your policy, all in one spot, in the sock drawer, or wherever it may be. And that way, when that day comes, you can tell your kids, hey, it's all right here. All of our pertinent information is here, all of our passwords or whatever. Here's our policies right here. Because heaven forbid, Mike, if something happens to you and Suzanne together, guess who's going to have to try to dig up all this information? It's going to be the kids, right, the relatives, right, whoever it may be. Somebody else is going to have to dig up this information and find it. And so I would challenge you to put that all together in one spot. That way, nobody will have to have any problems, and it's all in one place. Does that make sense?
Makes sense. Right.
And also, in addition, there's some things here that y'all might want to to add in there. Sometimes I find people may do something like this. Oh, I would like this kind of casket or whatever when I pass away. And honorary pallbearers, that's a big deal too. Families fight about this. Like, oh, who's going to carry the cat? Well, Uncle Tim or cousin or best friend, or he didn't like Uncle John or whatever, you know. But if it's on paper, it's already right there. And you can say, hey, Mike wanted you to have this. Mike wanted you to be that person. Suzanne wanted you to be that person. Okay. So go ahead and fill this out. And that way, win the policy. But if you listen subliminally, as I take my glasses off like this, you listen, I really am pre-selling the policy. So when I do that and I say, when the policy comes back, when I bring it back to you, when you get the policy, they're already, Suzanne and Mike are already thinking, we're going to buy a dadgum policy today. You know, in their mind, though, they're already getting that benefit. They're already getting that comfortable feeling. They're already getting that warm, hey, I trust you, Keelan. I've already, given you all my family's information, and I feel good about this. And that's what we have to do. And I did that in the period of probably 15 minutes or 10. But you have to use these pages to go in and say, here's why we're good. Here's what it's going to be. Here's what you want to leave behind. And I want to help you I want to help you produce this document along with your policy. That way it is taken care of at the end of the day, right? So here's a summary of what we have, Mike and Suzanne. We have a whole life policy up to $35,000. Our rates can never increase. They're level. You'll never get a notification. It's going to be the same all the time. We can never take your policy away from you. We have a simple application with no medical exam. We have benefits from the very first day. Our policies gain cash value, and anyone can apply. Does that make sense?
That makes sense.
So I just transition. When they say it makes sense, I don't even stop. I transition and I say, okay, the second thing I want to show y'all, and I promise you I won't take too much more of your time, is this. And you can get these. This is a funeral planning fact sheet. Funeral planning fact sheet. Okay, you can get it in English or Spanish. But Mike and Suzanne, I want to show you this because there are 122 things in here. We're not going to go through every single one of them, but all the way down to 132 things right here. That when you pass away, you or Suzanne, when y'all pass away, there's going to be things that the kids or you or whoever are going to need to pay for, or need to arrange, or need to get. Okay, you've got your vital statistics here. Those are things that you're going to have to find out. Those are very important things. That's what we try to figure out. Most of these in the process before. Funeral arrangements. Okay, preparing for the necessary cosmetology, hair. These cost money. Limousines over here. Okay, parking facilities. These cost money. Decisions, clothing for your children, preparation for your house. Lodging for your out-of-town relatives. Okay, thank you cards, transportation for your family, medical bills, doctors, hospitals, food, nurses, people to notify here, memorial marker, okay, your headstone. So Mike and Suzanne, I'm not going to go through all of these, but can you see now? And I'm going to give you this information too. That way you can put it with your paperwork. That way when I deliver the policy, or when the policy is delivered, you'll have all of this. And that way your beneficiary has kind of a guide. They have a guide as to what do I need? What do we do? It's going to be a day of distraught and despair, but we want to help you help your people make it more comfortable of locating these things. Okay, so 122 things that they need to think of and or they need to pay for. And that's why Mike and Suzanne, when we talk about the funeral costing $8,000 to $10,000 here, we usually write policies about $4,000 or $5,000 larger than that to take care of this additional cost. Okay, so you've got your funeral, then you have all of these additional costs that could be on top of that. And that is what the peace of mind is that knowing that your kids, your family, or each one of you have put this into place, and you can lay your head on the pillow at night knowing that this is taken care of. And that's what we want to give you, and that's what we do for you. Does that make sense, Mike, Suzanne?
Makes sense.
Perfect. So tell me, and so as my presentation continues to go on, I've done the presentation piece here, and I've brought out the funeral planning fact sheet. The next place I go is I normally will have an application in my hand, and everybody knows we have these in English and Spanish, but I'll have an application in my hand, and I'll jump over here to the simple security plan application and order some or download one. I usually have a hard copy, and I'll go straight to this section 3 here, and I go straight in here. So again, let me rewind. I do my presentation all the way down to this area right here. I jump here right after this presentation right here. I jump into my funeral planning fact sheet. So funeral planning fact sheet, I'm just going to call it that, which I jump over here to funeral planning fact sheet. I give them the why we need more. And when I do that after this, then I will jump straight into my application. Okay. So I'll jump right into my application, which is right here. And I will jump straight into this. Well, let me back up over here. Right in this area. So I'll say this, Mike and Suzanne, so that I can get you all the correct rate. Tell me about any medications that you're taking. Tell me about any illness. Tell me about anything that you're going through and your height and weight, because I want to make sure I get you the best policy for the best pricing. So Mike, we'll just start with you. Tell me some medications that you might be taking, or any conditions that you might have that may that we need to write down. And I just jump right into there. I don't even stop. I just keep going. They're going to have to stop me and tell me no. If you stop right here and at the very end here, before you even get to the funeral planning fact sheet, and you go, do y'all want this? Or can you think this is something y'all could use? Don't ever do that. Just keep going and going and going until they say stop. Just keep going. Okay. Funeral planning fact sheet. And then I go right into the application over here, and I start writing that information down. And as long as they're going along, I can find out what medications they're on, whether they're going to qualify for preferred, standard, or modified. And that's a whole different training. But preferred, standard, or modified. Y'all know the application, maybe not for brand new people. But again, this is section 1 is our knockouts. You got to be all no's there. You got section 2 right now. That's our standard plan. Okay. So if you're taking any insulin, and then you got section 3, which is basically our modified, and you can have up to 3 yeses in here and still get a modified plan. But I don't need to know that all yet right now. I'm just asking Mr. Mike and Suzanne, tell me about medication. As you get, more tenured in writing policies, and I know a lot of you online have already done this, so it's like old hat. And I'm sorry about that, but it's always kind of good to have a refresh. But as you get used to doing that, and as you get used to all medication we're using, and then you can jump over here to the medication guide and go, oh, you're on this one. Oh, you're on that one. You're going to be modified, or you're going to be this, and you're going to be that. Okay. Then you can come back at that point in time and go, okay, Mr. and Mrs. Jones, it looks like y'all are both preferred. I'm going to do this. I'm going to go ahead and put a rate together right here for $12,000. Okay, $12,000 worth of coverage. And if y'all think you want more or less, let me know. Okay, but I want to make sure that we put something in your budget. And for $12,000, and Mr. Jones, Mike, yours is going to be $75 a month, and Mrs. Jones, yours is going to be $56 a month. Okay, so we got 75 and 56. That sound like something that's affordable for you? Something you can put in your budget. We want to make sure, because we got $12,000 a piece. That's $24,000. When y'all pass away, that's going to be needed. So 75, 56. Does that sound about right for your budget? Perfect. All right, cool. And then I just open back up my application and go right over here to this baby and just start writing, filling it out. Okay. And because of time frames, we're not going to go through that today. Again, on my right here on my final training, you see this website up here, finaltraining.us. Okay. HTTPS finaltraining.us. And if you need the link, you text me email me and I will send it over to you. Okay, and I will send it over to you. But there are 7 steps here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. How to complete the paper application, how to complete the web application, a big series on underwriting, height and weight, using prescriptions, working your referrals, and branding yourself. I challenge you as a business owner, go in here and take these steps. I think once you take these 7 steps, I know it's an investment. I know it's time. And it's not always fun listening to me rattle around. And I know that, so I apologize on that. But I think if you take those steps, or if you just need help on situations, that's finetraining.us. You can in there. Sharpen your skills on if you're having some trouble there. That's a really short video on how to get yourself some supplies and get it ordered up. Okay, so go there and jump on that. Okay, so I've burned down an hour and 20 minutes here with y'all, but I just wanted to it was just kind of on my heart to go back and really just go through a presentation piece with you. Please know this: you're not going to do it just like me, and I don't want you to. I want you to do it like you. Okay, I want you to be able to do it like you. There's going to be hot buttons in there that you like more than others. Again, this funeral planning fact sheet comes in English or Spanish, so you have that ability to have the Spanish one too, or the English. So don't worry about that. But I just want to rewind. In October now, we're getting the end of October, going into November, and in the season with families and things. It's a time to set some of these times up with your friends and family and people and go, hey, before 2022 is over with, I want to make sure that we take care of something. It's been all near and dear to my heart, and I'd love to help you out and protect you, because that's what I do, and that's my job. How many people have you protected in 2022? How many people are you going to protect in 2023? Do you not care about protecting people? That's okay. I'm not saying this is the only opportunity in the world. Maybe you're a Medicare person. Maybe you're a health person. Maybe you're a C person. Maybe you're, no, you don't like insurance person. But to me, it's a time for us to go, how many am I going to protect in 2022 and finish this year up? And then what is my goal for 2023 to protect? How many not how many policies, not how many policies you're going to write, not how much money you're going to make. How many families do I want to protect in 2023? Because I think if we can take that servant mentality to the field, we want to serve people. It changes who we talk to, and it changes how we talk to them. Instead of having that salesman breath, we get a lot more of a tone. I want to help you breath, and I want to serve you, and I want to be here for you. So that's just kind of my gig today. That was what I wanted to talk about. And that's what I wanted to embrace. I appreciate I didn't have the meeting last week, and I appreciate every single one of y'all that participated in Founders Month. You're going to be happy with some bonus checks that you're going to see in December for Santa Claus. And let's finish up the year strong. I mean, gosh, you can still make a lot of money in November and December to pay for Christmas. Commissions are out there, policies are out there. If you need anything, let me know. Let's be on that front pew. Let's protect those families. Let's be the one that if something happens in 2023 or 2022 or whatever, that we're there for them. But know this, it's going to happen. It's going to happen to your people. Let it be known. Your phones and everybody in here, average age of death is 77. So if you live to 77, half the people that are in your phone are going to be dead. And that's just a fact. It's a sad fact, but it is. It's already been 2 or 3 years. Remember when the pandemic started? That's been 2.5, 3 years ago. Seems like yesterday. Time's going to fly by. Protect people, love on people. If you need anything, I'm here for you, and I want to be your helper in this deal. Let me know if you need anything, all the way from branding to leads to whatever, and I want to help you out. Thanks for jumping on today on this Thursday. I appreciate you spending your time with me this hour and all the way through lunch. I'm hungry too. So let's go eat. And as I always say in Texas, adios.